Dear friends, in the previous videos, we explained the enmity that God established in Genesis 3 between the woman, the dragon, and their respective offspring, and their connection with Revelation 12. In episode 3, we have also established a basic symbolic vocabulary consistent with the text's own definitions, which allowed us to identify, so far, the geography of the prophecy, expanding with the gospel until there is no longer any sea. In the last episode, we focused on the symbolic meaning of the four beasts of Daniel 7 and the composite identity of the dragon as the convergence of all those empires. We also examined his will, which opposes God's, to subdue humanity under a unified political order in place of Christ's kingdom. And we saw that the main agents that will carry out the dragon's plan are the beasts of chapter 13. This time we focus on the beast from the sea. The features of this beast are not random. They emphasize the structural continuity between the sea beast and the beasts of Daniel. By comparing Daniel's fourth beast with the beast from the sea, it is clear that the beast in Revelation is the evolution of Daniel's fourth. Daniel presents the initial form, whereas John describes the same system, line of power, and prophetic function within the New Testament context. For those who wish to explore this subject in great detail, see chapters B and G of my free ebook, An Intelligence Analyst Studies the Book of Revelation, linked in the description of this video. Let us now look more closely. The beast is given the dragon's throne, as the dragon moves to become the mouth of the beast from the earth, which speaks like a dragon. One of its heads appears slain, yet it miraculously recovers. It wages war for 42 months against the saints and conquers them. It is given global dominion over every tribe, people, language, and nation. Its number is the number of a man. Yet in the Greek original text, the word is ἀνθρώπος, which more precisely means human. At this point, several symbolic terms need to be clarified, such as the dragon's throne, the slain head, the duration of the 42 months, and finally, what a man or human represents. Only then can we proceed to an interpretation of the beast without falling into arbitrary conclusions. Let us take them one at a time. The throne of the dragon is not fixed. It is transferred along the same line of power, from Babylon to Persia to Macedon, where Babylon remained the seat, the enduring center of the first three empires, and finally, to Rome. Empires rise and fall, but the seat of power remains within the same system. In the time of Revelation, that seat is Rome. This is not something new. Even Peter writes from Babylon, a name used for Rome, the ruling city of his time. The throne does not disappear, it moves. After Constantine, it shifts to New Rome, later to be called Constantinople, while Old Rome remains within the system, as the base of the sea beast system. The dragon has moved to the earth, yet his power within the Western system, the sea of that time, remains. Now let us focus on the heads of the beast. Here, the Greek speaker possesses a natural interpretive advantage. The head that was slain is the first. This becomes clear for the Greek reader, as it is easy to observe a recurring pattern in the Greek original text. The same word, mίαν, is used consistently to describe the first within a sequence. Let us compare the original Greek text with the NIV. The Lamb opened the first of the seven seals. The original Greek reads, mίαν, meaning the first. The first woe is past, two other woes are yet to come. The Greek reads, mίαν, meaning again the first. Can you see the pattern? When we encounter mίαν, it should be understood as the first. So, when we encounter, one of its heads seemed to have had a fatal wound, and the Greek again reads the same word, mίαν. It points to the first. Nowhere else in the Greek original text is mίαν used differently. My friends, it might sound Greek, but this is not an assumption. It is a text-based analysis. Now, to the period of its dominion. The text gives a specific period of authority, 42 months. But how should this period be understood? Within the same book, time is not always expressed in the same way. In the case of the two witnesses, different units are used side by side. 42 months for the beast and 1,260 days for the two witnesses. The difference is not arbitrary. It follows a consistent pattern within the text. When the subject is associated with the symbolic moon, time is expressed in months, a unit linked to the lunar cycle. When the subject is associated with the symbolic sun, time is expressed in days, reflecting the solar cycle. Two different expressions, yet the same period. The difference lies in the perspective of the subject. This pattern can be observed consistently across the text. So, days are used for the entities on the covenant side. The witnesses prophesy for 1,260 days. The woman is sustained for the same period. And the church of Smyrna is tested for 10 days. By contrast, months are used when the subject is external, nations, torment, or oppressive power. The duration is the same, but the perspective is different. And, as the prophetic language indicates, the symbol 1 day corresponds to 1 year. Hence, the time given to the beast is to be understood as 1,260 prophetic years. This is not an assumption, it is a text-based analysis. Finally, its number is described as the number of a man, or more precisely, a human number, according to the Greek original text. But this is not difficult to understand. In Revelation, the entities are not individuals, but multitudes, collective bodies. The woman is the body of believers. The male child is a people growing through history. The two witnesses are also identified as churches, as seen in Revelation 11 verse 4. And the lampstands are churches, as Christ himself explains in Revelation 1 verse 20. In the same way, the beast is not an individual, but a multitude, a form of society. The number of a man is the number of a society. My friends, we are now ready to interpret the beast from the sea. The beast is given the dragon's throne, that is, Rome. The sack of Rome in AD 476 identifies the Western Roman Empire as the first head. The healing of that wound corresponds to the rise of Charlemagne as emperor of the Holy Roman Empire in AD 800. The 42 prophetic months of its dominion are to be understood as 1,260 prophetic years. It is given global dominion over every tribe, people, language, and nation through its subsequent heads, the colonial empires that emerge in the West. Its name is the name of a society, which we will now calculate. In some cases, the remaining heads appear as successors of the first, such as the Franks, and in other cases, as contemporaries, like the 4 heads of the leopard in Daniel 7. But in all cases, they are major powers, colonial kingdoms, each exerting significant influence on the spiritual life of Christians and expanding the beast's reach to the whole world, over every people, tribe, language, and nation. Revelation 13 gives the command to calculate. And in Revelation 17, the same call to wisdom appears again, not by accident, as the angel explains what the heads represent. This is not an arbitrary identification, but a structural reconstruction. The heads represent major, system-shaping imperial powers, while the horns correspond to secondary or dependent ones. Together, the heads form a composite identity. When their Greek initials are combined, they produce a single name, Apophyte, a name that in Greek describes the offspring of Apophis, the ancient Egyptian serpent, symbol of chaos and opposition to the sun, and its number is 666. The 8th head is identified as Germany, the one that belongs to the 7. This is not a separate line of power, but a continuation from within the system itself. The Frankish Empire, later as the Holy Roman Empire under Charlemagne, was already of Germanic origin, and the Holy Roman Empire of the German nation, formally established under Otto I, extends this same imperial line. What we see here is not a new power, but the consolidation of the previous ones, a system emerging from within the 7 and gathering them into one. And for a brief moment in history, it can even be observed. My friends, we have followed the text, not imposed a meaning upon it. From the transfer of the dragon's throne, to the structure of time, to the identity of the heads, and the calculation of its name, what emerges is not a symbol without form, but a system, historical, continuous, and coherent, and a name of striking symbolic meaning. Dear friends, I have compressed into a single episode what is the result of long and structured analysis in order to preserve continuity. Thank you sincerely for your attention. If you have any questions, I'll be glad to respond. And in the next episode, we turn to the beast from the earth and the voice behind the system. Until then, I wish you health, peace, and every blessing.